First contribution tonight will come from Penny Gaines. Penny Gaines is from Stop HS2, the national campaigning organisation. Penny's worked absolutely tirelessly ever since the announcement was made 18 months ago now by the previous government. The last time I saw Penny, in fact, we were remarking on this, was a couple of weeks ago outside 10 Downing Street, no less, as we were handing in the 108,000 name Stop HS2 petition. So Penny would like to give us an update on what's happening with HS2 nationally and in campaigning terms. She's going to talk for about 5 minutes. So over to you, Penny.
Good evening. It's really good to see so many people here. And like Seb was saying, last time I saw Seb was outside 10 Downing Street. I think we've gone even higher up in the political spectrum, because as I was driving over here on the Radio 4 comedy show, they started lampooning the campaign. I thought, well, we know we've really made it. The other factor of note this week was the Transport Select Committee report came out. They've gone and they've looked in great depth about high-speed rail and about high-speed 2 in particular. I know that there's people in this room who took part in the consultation and sent in information and documents to help them make up their minds, so thank you very much to those people. And the result of their inquiry was that they think high-speed rail is a really good idea, but they've got 1 or 2 problems with the HS2 proposal. And I'm going to read what their consultation summary says. They want greater clarity on the policy context, the assessment of alternatives, the financial case, the economic case, the environmental impacts, the connections to Heathrow, and the justification for the particular route being proposed. So those are all the questions that the Transport Select Committee wants HS2 Limited and the government to answer about the HS2 proposals before it goes any further. Sometimes you feel like HS2 is the solution of the month. So they come up with a problem and they say, oh, well, we've got something that's going to solve it. It's called HS2. So to begin with, it was going to reduce carbon emissions. But, yeah. As some of you clearly know, when you actually read all the documentation, they say it's going to be carbon neutral. So the government ditched that idea. Next thing they thought, well, maybe it will help to reduce the north-south divide. The Transport Select Committee did actually look into this bit, and they said, well, if you've got a station, it only has an effect up to about 40 kilometres away, which in sort of imperial terms is about 30 miles, which isn't actually a great deal of distance when you look at how big the north is. The second thing that they said was, and if you want to actually get those benefits, you've got to do a whole load of planning around the station, which they said somebody's got to pay for, and we think central government should pay for it. That's the taxpayer, that's you and me. The most recent one they've come up with is capacity. But that's a funny old thing. When HS2 Limited were first looking at the railway, they said we could put a station somewhere between London and Birmingham. And they thought about putting one built in Keynes. And they said, no, we won't do that. Too many people would use it. Then they said, we could put one at Bicester so that people from Oxford could use it. And they said, we won't do that. Too many people would use it. Then they looked at putting in a station at Aylesbury, and they said, we won't do that. Too few people will use it. So there must be some size of town or city that's just got precisely the right number of people, but obviously it's nowhere near here. I'm just going to finish up by talking about the next big event that we've got lined up. And on the 28th of November, which is a Monday, we're going to be having a lobby day in Parliament where you can arrange to meet your MP there. If you can get the time there, that would be really good if you can get in touch with your MP and ask them to go along, whether it's David Lidington or Joel Dillon or whoever. But if you can't, it'd be really good if you could write to them anyway.